Welcome back to one of the most talked about stories in the tennis world this season. Today we're taking a deeper look at a situation that has taken over sports headlines, social media timelines, and even conversations inside locker rooms across the globe. At the center of it all is a moment that sent a massive shockwave through the BNP Paribas Open. If you follow tennis even casually, chances are you've already seen the clips, the headlines, and the online frenzy surrounding the rising Philippine tennis sensation Alexandra Eala. But today, we're going far beyond quick social media clips and viral thumbnails. Instead of the usual 30-second sound bites, we're diving deeper into the interview that everyone is talking about. The now viral conversation between Alexandra Eala and respected Filipino sports journalists TJ Manotoc and Angel Manotoc quickly turned into one of the most discussed moments of the tournament. What began as a routine interview suddenly evolved into something far bigger, an honest and powerful glimpse into the mindset of a young athlete who is rapidly becoming a global name. This story is about more than just a tennis player answering questions. It's about a new generation of talent stepping confidently onto the international stage. It reflects the intersection of national pride, immense competitive pressure, and the kind of raw authenticity that modern sports media rarely shows. In an era where interviews are often carefully controlled and predictable, this conversation felt different, real, emotional, and deeply meaningful for fans watching around the world. The excitement actually began before the interview was even released. When word spread that TJ Manotoc and Angel Manotoc had secured an exclusive sit-down with Alexandra Eala at BNP Paribas Open, expectations were already building. These journalists are not just reporters, they have long served as trusted voices for Filipino sports fans around the world, documenting the triumphs and struggles of Filipino athletes competing on the global stage. Naturally, people were eager to hear what Eala had to say. Still, no one could have predicted just how explosive the reaction would be. Within hours of the interview going public, it spread rapidly across social media platforms, racking up huge viewership numbers and dominating trending topics not only in the Philippines, but also across North America, Europe, and parts of Asia, where tennis has a passionate following. Even people closely connected to the tournament, from event staff to veteran players, were surprised by how quickly the moment captured global attention. So, what made this particular conversation resonate so strongly? Why did this interview stand out in a sport filled with press conferences and media appearances? The answer lies in what viewers witnessed: a young star stepping confidently into her moment. Alexandra Eala displayed a level of maturity, determination, and clarity that many simply did not expect from someone so early in her career. Her words carried the unmistakable tone of an athlete who understands both her responsibility and her potential. In that moment, Eala wasn't just talking about playing well or improving her rankings. She was speaking about ambition, purpose, and the bigger impact she hopes to have on the sport and on the fans who believe in her journey. It felt less like a routine interview and more like a powerful statement of intent from a rising star who knows the world is now watching. The confidence she displayed during the interview carried the kind of calm authority usually associated with athletes who have already captured multiple Grand Slam titles. Throughout this broadcast, we'll carefully break down every important moment from that conversation. We'll look closely at the thoughtful questions asked by TJ Manotoc and Angel Manotoc, two experienced journalists who skillfully explored the deeper layers of Alexandra Eala's journey. Their discussion traced her path from a young girl dreaming about tennis in Manila to a student training at the prestigious Rafa Nadal Academy in Manacor, Spain, and ultimately to a rising competitor now challenging the best players in the world on the hard courts of Indian Wells Tennis Garden in Coachella Valley, California. We will also explore the broader impact this viral interview is having across the WTA Tour. Opponents, analysts, and fans alike are reacting to this moment, recognizing that something important may be unfolding in front of them. The sudden surge of global attention brings both opportunity and pressure, especially as Alexandra Eala prepares for demanding hard-court battles ahead. What we are witnessing may represent a genuine turning point in how she's viewed, not merely as a promising prospect, but as a legitimate emerging star capable of influencing the global conversation around tennis. So settle in and get comfortable, because we're about to take a deeper look at the viral moment that has officially introduced Alexandra Eala to a worldwide audience. The interview didn't just generate headlines. It created a ripple effect across the entire BNP Paribas Open, leaving players, media members, and fans buzzing with excitement. To truly understand the impact of this widely shared interview, we need to step back and examine the bigger context of professional tennis today. The BNP Paribas Open in Indian Wells is far from an ordinary tournament. Often referred to as the unofficial fifth Grand Slam, the event is staged in the dramatic desert landscape of Coachella Valley, where conditions test even the most experienced athletes. The dry desert air, high-bouncing courts, and relentless competition create an environment designed to push both mental focus and physical endurance to their limits. For a rising star like Alexandra Eala, stepping onto those courts carries both honor and immense pressure. She arrived in California carrying the hopes of an entire nation. For many athletes, that level of expectation could easily become overwhelming. Yet in her conversation with TJ Manotoc and Angel Manotoc, it became clear that she views that pressure not as a burden, but as motivation, almost like a form of armor that strengthens her resolve. The dynamics of the interview itself were equally fascinating. Both journalists understood the art of conducting meaningful sports conversations. Instead of asking simple tactical questions about forehands or baseline strategies, they chose to explore the emotional and cultural dimensions of Eala's career. They asked about the sacrifices she had made, the countless months spent away from family, and the demanding training blocks she endured in Manacor under the guidance of coaches at the Rafa Nadal Academy. They also addressed the psychological challenges that come with life on the professional tennis circuit. What made the interview so powerful was Eala's honesty. Her responses felt refreshingly genuine, free from the polished phrases often delivered in media sessions. She spoke openly about the loneliness that sometimes accompanies the life of a touring athlete. Yet in the same breath, she delivered a statement about her competitive ambitions that radiated intense determination. That combination, human vulnerability paired with fierce competitive drive, was exactly what ignited the viral reaction online. Another powerful element of the conversation centered on representation. During the interview, Angel Manotoc asked about the passionate fans who gather around her practice courts, many of them proudly waving Philippine flags and chanting her name. The emotional impact of that support was clearly visible. Tennis writers have begun referring to it as the Eala effect, a rapidly growing wave of enthusiastic supporters who follow her matches around the world. Traditionally, storylines at the BNP Paribas Open have been dominated by established American and European stars. But the rise of Alexandra Eala is beginning to shift that narrative, bringing new energy and a powerful sense of representation to one of tennis's biggest stages. The usual atmosphere surrounding the tournament was suddenly transformed. What is normally a stage dominated by established stars took on a completely different energy as thousands of passionate fans rallied behind a young Filipino athlete, Alexandra Eala. Reports from tournament insiders at the BNP Paribas Open suggested that officials were genuinely surprised not only by the number of supporters showing up for her matches and practice sessions, but by the intensity of their loyalty. The presence of this enthusiastic crowd created a powerful atmosphere that stood out even in an event known for attracting global attention. During her conversation with TJ Manotoc and Angel Manotoc, Eala demonstrated impressive emotional awareness when discussing the effect of that support. She explained that while the deafening noise of a stadium crowd can overwhelm many young players, she has learned to channel that energy into motivation. Instead of allowing it to become a distraction, she transforms it into focus, almost like a source of fuel that sharpens her concentration and pushes her to perform at a higher level. The interview also highlighted an important phase in Eala's career development. Once known primarily as a standout junior and a U.S. Open Girls Singles Championship winner, she is now transitioning into a serious competitor on the WTA Tour. Historically, this stage can be extremely difficult for young players as they suddenly face opponents with greater power, heavier spin, and far more tactical experience. Yet during the interview, Alexandra Eala spoke with striking clarity about how her game is evolving. She explained how her serve has gradually improved, how she is positioning herself more aggressively on returns, and how her physical conditioning has been designed to withstand demanding three-set battles against some of the world's top-ranked players. This level of detailed analysis revealed a player who is thinking deeply about every element of her development. For many inside the locker room, that message was unmistakable. Eala isn't just enjoying the experience of competing at the highest level. She is approaching it with the mindset of someone determined to win. The media impact of the interview quickly became impossible to ignore. Instead of following the traditional international press conference format, Eala chose to share her thoughts in a more personal conversation with Filipino journalists. By speaking in a comfortable and culturally familiar environment, she allowed her natural personality, humor, and intelligence to shine through without the usual filters of global media interpretation. For modern digital audiences, that authenticity proved incredibly powerful. As a result, the interview spread rapidly across social media platforms. The video accumulated millions of impressions and sparked conversations across multiple regions. Suddenly, the broader tennis community was paying attention, not just to her results on the court, but to the story unfolding around her. Even organizers connected to the BNP Paribas Open were surprised that a player still climbing the rankings could generate such intense media coverage, sometimes rivaling or surpassing the attention given to top-seeded veterans. This viral moment also carries important consequences for Eala's upcoming matches. From now on, every opponent who steps onto the court with Alexandra Eala understands that their match will attract global interest. Facing her is no longer just another tournament round. It becomes part of a story that fans around the world are following closely. The psychological battle begins long before the first serve, as players recognize that the atmosphere surrounding these matches is charged with emotion and expectation. Throughout the interview, TJ Manotoc and Angel Manotoc skillfully captured this competitive fire. What emerged from the conversation was the image of a young athlete who remains remarkably calm despite the growing noise around her. In fact, she seems fully aware that the excitement and attention are partly a result of her own rising presence in the sport. Rather than being overwhelmed by it, she appears ready to embrace it, and perhaps even thrive within it. Her ability to remain calm in the middle of overwhelming attention revealed something rare in professional sports: complete mental clarity under pressure. During the interview, Alexandra Eala showed the kind of composure usually seen only in seasoned champions. Even with global headlines and social media buzzing around her, she spoke with calm confidence and thoughtful perspective. That mental discipline is no accident. It reflects the philosophy she absorbed during her years training at the Rafa Nadal Academy, where resilience, focus, and emotional control are considered just as important as technical skill. As we step back and look at the bigger picture, it becomes clear that this viral interview represents far more than a trending sports clip. The impact is still echoing across the BNP Paribas Open, and many observers believe it marks the beginning of a new chapter in the sport. The conversation between Alexandra Eala, TJ Manotoc, and Angel Manotoc was not simply another media appearance. In many ways, it served as a cultural moment, a point when the global tennis community fully recognized the rising star power of a young athlete who has been steadily building her presence on the international stage. What viewers witnessed in that interview was a powerful snapshot of potential becoming reality. For years, Alexandra Eala has carried the hopes of fans from Philippines, pursuing her dreams on courts thousands of miles away from home. Now, under the bright lights of Indian Wells in California, she stood confidently and made it clear that she belongs on one of tennis's biggest stages. Much of the impact of that moment was made possible by the thoughtful approach of the journalists conducting the interview. TJ Manotoc and Angel Manotoc created a space where Eala could speak openly, not just as an athlete but as a person. Their questions allowed her to share her ambitions, acknowledge the sacrifices behind her journey, and connect with fans in a genuine and powerful way. The result was a conversation that resonated deeply with viewers around the world. Since that moment, the atmosphere around the Indian Wells Tennis Garden has felt different. Whether during practice sessions, press conferences, or competitive matches, the presence of Alexandra Eala now carries a new level of excitement and expectation. What once felt like the early stages of a promising career now looks more like the beginning of a defining era. Of course, with rising fame comes rising pressure. Expectations will continue to grow as her career progresses. Yet if that interview revealed anything clearly, it is that Eala is not intimidated by pressure. In fact, she appears to thrive within it. Every powerful forehand, every carefully placed serve, and every hard-fought rally will now be watched by millions who are inspired by her honesty and determination. Today, Alexandra Eala represents more than just a talented young tennis player. She has become a symbol of possibility, proof of what can happen when extraordinary talent meets relentless dedication and belief. Her journey is still unfolding, but the influence she is already having on the global tennis conversation is undeniable. Thank you for joining this deep exploration of a story that is rapidly shaping the future of international tennis. If you enjoyed this kind of detailed sports analysis and want to stay updated on the biggest developments in the game, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about the rise of Alexandra Eala, and how far do you believe her journey can go?